Playing Minecraft solo, I think some of us could take for granted that we really don't appreciate all of the life that flows around us. But what if that was gone? The village you just went to? Empty. The cave that would be filled with mobs? Nothing. The open plains that would be filled with sheep, cows, and pigs and whatever? Gone. Even the vast oceans? Empty. Even the damn silverfish. I set out to play 25 days fully alone to see what it's like playing Minecraft completely and truly alone. Day 1 would start normally, and had there been mobs, it would have been a typical day 1. However, considering the main source of food in the early game was gone, I had to resort to hoping I was nearby an ocean and it had kelp, and did not need to look up if kelp was something you can eat or not. No, I didn't. Now, I was aware that living off of kelp would truly and utterly be a doom and despair and utterly miserable experience, and it was. But the rest of the day, I'd get more kelp and make a home in a cave and make sure that I cook it fast enough to stay alive. Day 2, I watched the sunrise. I did it again. Can you blame me? I already got tired of my cave and just planned to run in a random direction and not look back. Ideally, finding a village was my #1 priority, which there would be at least one farm, and I could turn that into my own food source. And if it wasn't clear enough, by now there was no NPCs, no mobs whatsoever. But I didn't feel the emptiness quite yet. And I did find an igloo, but I quickly abandoned it, and with no hesitation, when I found a village not too far away, I immediately ran to that village instead. The village was average, but did give me a few things, but nothing that would really help me survive long enough. But I did take the pumpkins, since I had a plan with them for day 10. But next to the village, I found another village that was larger and arguably better, and just so much better, and I would call that place my home, temporarily at least. And honestly, I think by now I might have shown it. The most depressing part of these villages are the open doors, showing that life was here at some point, but now is not. But I did find a crazy stock chest that looks very suspicious, almost like I came here in creative, which I didn't, promise, and would help me survive even on that chest alone, which was cool, I guess. Day 3, I had mine in a mine. That's pretty much it. I found some iron and coal. I upgraded my tools and with mine. And I did do one thing though in the mine. It was one thing that no one has ever done in this world. I mined copper, but I forgot why I wanted to mine it, and I kind of just never used it. Didn't even smelt it. I really kind of wonder why I got it. I also found this really cool cave with a lot of iron and took dripstone for something. Don't ask. I don't remember. Day 4, I smelt iron and made full iron armor. That was pretty much all that happened. But here's snow. That's pretty cool, right? But I did start my plan for the farm I was going to make, since having a farm above ground in a tundra is a bad idea. I wanted to make a farm underground, plus it's easier, and I'd stop working on the farm for a bit and make a storage home, or would turn a home into a storage home. I didn't do the math right, and we'll see later on why that's a problem. I went back to the underground farm and continued working on it, and it was very entertaining. But the worst of all was this annoying, smelly gravel that got in my way. Gravel is truly the ugliest and worst block in Minecraft. It is so annoying and anyway. And I finished the first farm area, or block, and for some reason, I wish my small brain could genuinely explain why these crops were not placing when I placed them. I don't understand. I really wish I did. And I would also frame and lay out the other 2 farms that would be next to each other. Day 5, I'd go back to the farms and still run to the same annoying issue and maybe lose it a little bit, you know. Regardless, the day was same as day 4, with me working on the farm, and I'd get some lanterns from a weird-looking lamppost I didn't like, and would work on the farm and have one beetroot farm because this video is about being alone. Beetroots need love too. Day 6, still at the farm. See a trend here? Yeah, I'll move on. Day 7, I would go further into the mine and I would hope to go strip mining for diamonds and found actually a really good vein. But I heard lava, and unlike most people, because I was already losing my mind, I went to the lava, and it took some time before I found the lava, and I did a thing. Don't think I was too dumb though, because I did actually make a platform for myself to prevent any of the items actually like burning, and I was actually lucky enough to not lose any of that, and would explore the lava cave to set up my weird obsidian farm for later on. But since I was underground long enough, my farm was ready, and I'd get the crops and get a pretty decent amount of food. And finally able to move on from the depression food, and I was finally happy with my baked potatoes. Day 8, most of sunlight was a pure nothing burger. But at night, I would venture for a good plot of land for my plan I had for my main goal of 25 days. And honestly, being in a biome and land like this, it's really perfect for me. It feels so much at home, even if I'll never see life in this world. The mountains and the cold are just all I need. I would also set up a chest and get some wood for the project and set some torches so I would remember where the land was. Days 9 and 10. I will be honest, I had no real track of when day 9 began and when day 10 started, but here we are. I would sing a song that only cool people know, and yes, part of playing this world needs music, or I truly will have lost my mind alone, and found a very odd looking piece of ice, but since it was day 10, the secondary goal would begin, which you could see from this clip. I am a bedrock player, and thought what I was going to do would work, but it didn't, because I'm a little dumb. And I used some of the polished diorite instead and made my block people. I'll give them names later on, but it helped my sanity. They really helped. And the day would end off with Frantisto, the loner. Me and him watched the sunset together. He's definitely a bit of a weird fellow. Day 11, I greeted Ham and Gertrude, the farmers. I named them now. And truly, I loved seeing them. But the farm wasn't ready yet. I'd get some more wood and that's it. I went back to the main block people, though, in their meeting circle, which I didn't name any of them yet, and had a very intelligent interaction with them. It was also the same day I saw my storage home, and, I was doing wrong, and it would maybe freak out mentally a little bit, but I was too lazy to do anything right away. Day 12. Wood. Day 13, I planned to venture past the land I chose to have my final goal be, and went mountain mining for iron and coal, and really kind of just found that most of the mountains were kind of too short and didn't have much stone. I was lazy. Day 14, I was still out like before, and now was just exploring this really, really cool mountain range, and it was truly a sight to see. And, I'll be honest, I was kind of playing with my new PC like it's a weak PC or it can't do much, and kind of had a brain fart and remembered my PC is quite literally a god, and I tried a farther render distance and I almost cried, and it was the views, man, just too good. But that was it. Although I did find two of the most amazing things I could ever find. First was a sunken ship, and then was a pillager outpost. And prior to this, I had wondered if I could even fish, even though there's no fish in the oceans that spawn. Yes, I'm dumb. Leave me alone. But in the outpost, I found something so valuable in a run like this. I found string. I was so happy because it means I could make a fishing rod. And I also found a goat horn. And honestly, this was the happiest I've ever been in this run. This was the pinnacle of my run. The outpost gave me so much hope, and it was just awesome. But near the end, I actually saw a lush cave in the distance, and it just called my name. However, the passage of time in that cave was just lost. Day 15 and 16, I was mostly in the lush cave, and it was a really, really large cave system. It despite its size, was really beautiful as well. And also had a really, really large mine shaft. And I've really just don't remember caves having these many diamonds. I left there with probably 40 something diamonds. And there's not much to really show because it is also mostly the same, just repetitive stuff. But I will show some nice views of the cave, some of the good ones. By the end of day 16, I was back home and had a very meaningful conversation with 3 block people in our meeting circle and celebrated. Yeah, I've completely lost my mind. Day 17, I tried to fish with all the string from the outpost and the mineshaft, and you would never believe how happy I was. I got a fish. Too bad this is pointless considering I have a farm now, but it's fish. It's awesome, man. And I did my weird obsidian farm since I planned to head for the Nether for levels and quartz to enchant my tools and maybe armor in an enchanting room. And before the day ended, I needed some wood and ate a part of a home I didn't like for the bookshelves and would have finished the enchanting room as much as I could considering leather basically doesn't exist in this world. Day 18, I'd make the portal in the same home I ate and set up a tunnel to get a view of the bearings and see the land and see where some quartz was considering I got a terrible spawn that was surrounded by nether waste that was just everywhere, and it was or basalt deltas. Either way, it was hideous and it was annoying. Day 19, I'll be honest, I think more time passed in the nether than I thought, and I didn't keep track of days good enough, or I just stopped paying attention. Regardless, the tunnel was done, and I had a safe path to the rest of the nether, and did find some quartz. Day 20, I'd enchant my iron pick, and that was exactly what I was hoping for in the enchantments. It was perfect, considering the enchantment room level I was limited to. And my crops are ready, so I farmed them and would get a great amount of food, and fully resolved the issue of hunger. And I'd end my day watching the sunset again with... what was his name? Day 21 was spent in the nether again, and I went after quartz, but took a lot of biome-based... I don't know why I did this, but it happened. Maybe it's for the future or something, or I don't know. But either way, I'd come back home and fix my storage room, so it's less of a cringe fest and bomb disaster. I would enchant more tools, and I did think about making diamond armor, but I settled not to, and just made a diamond axe and shovel for the wood and for the project, and a shovel for clearing the land. And yeah, more, whatever. Day 22, I head back to the mine and hope I'd find some more diamonds, but failed horribly, and was doing last minute things in the village since I was probably gonna end the run not there. And I had gave Ham and Gertrude, the farmers, big warm hugs. And I had to generally just be by them because it would be my last goodbye, since I might never come back. And there's also that one alone guy by the... I don't know. He's weird, man. I left a sign to remind me that he's weird and he's a loser. And I would also label other parts of the village that weren't really... Anyway, day 23 was spent mostly on wood and getting as much wood as I could with the time I had left. I had a odd method though. I mean, it worked, so it would do more than I needed, and I would also start carving the land for my project. Day 24, I tried clearing the land as fast as I could, and I could make sure that it was all level and perfect for what I needed. I wanted to get the right size for the project, and near the end of the day, I started to measure the land for my blueprints I had access to, and I had to see how big of a size land I was going to need. Day 25, I'm still at the site, and still measuring, but getting ready to build the home. But the worst thing that could have ever happened is it started snowing, and it snowed like the entire day. And I had spent building, and it was really annoying. No. And I was trying to move as fast as I could to build the home, but realistically, I still ran out of time when I hit day 26. Alone, 25 days in Minecraft. It was truly something. I remember going into this thinking this would be easy, thinking it would basically be the same game or peaceful on a little bit higher level. I couldn't have been more wrong. Playing Minecraft without basically like half, if not 3/4 of the gameplay, it's a completely different experience when all of that is gone. And there's no way of that coming back. It really felt empty at sometimes, and trying to find an end game, it just felt impossible. Especially if I go to 50 or 100 days, who knows what I'll try and have to come up with for a run like this. And I know in this clip I'm probably showing playing my 26th the day. If it's requested enough, I might go to 50 or 100 days. I might consider it. Mainly because I left this house on a cliffhanger, and I'm doing that on purpose. I know what did help a lot with this run was the music I played, and how I started off on very, like, happy, joyful music, kind of explorational music, and I ended off with sadder or melancholic music. And if this run meant anything, it's that no matter what it is, or how small or how minuscule we think it is, we need to never take something for granted. Because when it's gone, it's impossible to shake the void that's left in its place.